So let's talk about a city that pretty much invented the modern world as we know it. We're diving into Manchester to see how it completely changed everything, from the clothes we wear to the cities we live in.
And here's the big question we're tackling. How on earth did a small, quiet town in the north of England explode into the world's very first industrial city? A city that basically created the instruction manual that cities all over the globe would end up following.
But, and this is a big but, it wasn't just a simple success story. This incredible boom, this amazing progress, it came at a massive price. And that price was paid by the very people who were building the city from the ground up. That's the real story we're going to unpack.
Okay, first up, a city is born. You see, Manchester's transformation wasn't some kind of accident. It happened because the city had the perfect natural recipe for an industrial revolution. Its location, its geography, gave it this massive head start. Think about it, all these different pieces just clicked into place. You had rivers to power the first machines. The air was famously damp, which sounds bad, but it was actually perfect. It stopped the delicate cotton threads from snapping. There were huge amounts of coal buried right nearby, ready to fuel the future. The land was flat, making it super easy to build canals and railways. And it was just a stone's throw from the port of Liverpool, which was the gateway for raw cotton to come in and finished cloth to go out. It was quite literally the perfect storm for an industrial explosion.
All right, Section 2, cotton, coal, and steam. So you have the perfect location. Now all Manchester needed was the right technology to really light the fuse on its incredible growth. And a huge piece of that puzzle was this invention, the spinning jenny. Now before this, you could only spin one thread at a time, by hand. It was slow. This machine, though, had a whole bunch of spindles, which meant a single worker could suddenly produce way more yarn than ever before. It absolutely changed the game for making clothes.
And the result? Well, production just went through the roof. Manchester became the undisputed capital of the global cotton trade. It even got this famous nickname, Cottonopolis, literally, the city of cotton. It was making and trading more cotton than anywhere else on the planet.
But wait, how do you power all these new machines? Well, at first, factories were powered by water wheels. That meant you had to build your mill right next to a fast-flowing river, which was pretty limiting. But then came the real revolution, the steam engine. All of a sudden, you could build a massive factory literally anywhere you wanted. Steam gave you powerful, reliable energy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay, so you've got these incredible factories churning out mountains of goods. Now you have a new problem. How do you move it all? That brings us to our third section, connecting the machine. Manchester needed lifelines to the rest of the world.
And these lifelines were built incredibly fast. First came the canals. The first big one was so efficient, it literally cut the price of coal in half overnight. Then, in 1830, something even more amazing showed up, the Liverpool to Manchester Railway. This wasn't just any railway, it was the world's first ever railway line built between two cities. It made moving goods and people faster than anyone had ever imagined.
But now we need to look at the other side of the coin. Because all this amazing growth, all this world-changing innovation, it came at a terrible cost. This is the price of progress.
Just get your head around this number. In the span of a single human lifetime, the city's population grew 10 times over. People were flooding in from all over the countryside, desperate for work. The city just couldn't keep up with this human tidal wave.
And this is the life they found. Housing was thrown up as fast and as cheaply as possible. We're talking tiny, crammed houses, often with no running water at all. A whole street might share 1 or 2 outdoor toilets. Some families were forced to live in dark, damp cellars with no windows. And with no sewers or garbage collection, disease spread like wildfire.
It was like there were two different cities in one. On one side, you have the life of a rich factory owner, a big, comfortable house, maybe outside the city, with access to doctors. Then you have the life of a worker, an entire family crammed into a single room, working brutal 12-hour days, and facing a constant threat from deadly diseases like cholera and typhoid. The gap between the rich and the poor was just enormous.
So what was it actually like inside one of those factories? Well, it was beyond tough. The day started before sunrise with a whistle blast, signaling the start of a 12 to 14-hour shift. The noise from the machinery was deafening. The machines themselves were incredibly dangerous, with no safety guards. The air was thick with cotton dust, which got into your lungs and caused serious health problems. And there were hardly any breaks. Even young children were put to work, crawling underneath the dangerous moving machinery to fix broken threads.
So, how do we make sense of all this? A legacy of both genius and misery.
That brings us to our final section, the world's first modern city.
You see, Manchester's story didn't just stay in Manchester. It became the world's story. Its ways of making things, its transport networks, even the problems of cramming so many people into one place. All of this became the model, for better and for worse, that cities all around the world would eventually copy.
So what is its ultimate legacy? Well, Manchester proved, without a doubt, that technology could completely transform a society. But its awful living and working conditions also forced change, leading to the very first laws on things like public health and factory safety. Its story shaped how we plan and run our own cities today, and you really can't understand our modern global economy without understanding what happened here first.
So what does this all mean for us? Manchester's story is this incredible mix. It shows the amazing things humans can achieve, but it's also a powerful warning about what happens when progress moves too fast, without thinking about the human cost. So as we're building our own future with incredible new technologies, the question is, what lessons from the world's very first industrial city should we make sure we never forget?